everybody. Thank you again for joining us on Sundays with Sheetal. Today we are talking about chakras and balancing them out. And with us, we have Vinita Rashinkar, a best-selling author, a health and wellness expert, a speaker, a spiritual counselor, and she's also a tourism PR specialist. She's also the founder director of Sri Chakra Yantra Foundation, a not-for-profit organization with the intention of bringing individuals and organizations together to improve health and well-being. Um, Tantra and Sri Vidya are outlined in the Hindu scriptures, and that's what she likes to bring to the forefront. As a wellness expert, she derives satisfaction in promoting ancient Indian forms of well being, such as yoga, meditation, Ayurveda, and other related modalities. She's the author of three books: Sri Chakra Yantra, Chakras, and Tantra, Mantra, and Yantra of Sri Vidya. And she's presently working on her fourth book. She's also the founder and managing director of Amara Vedic Wellness, which is a company founded with the intention to bring the hidden aspects of Vedic knowledge to the common man. She's regularly conducting meditation programs for top executives of Fortune 500 companies in Europe, organizes wellness retreats annually in the Reunion Island and Mauritius, and she's very well known in Russia and CIS for her talks on spirituality. Vinita was instrumental in setting up the Windflower Resorts and Spa chain of properties in South India, which you're all very familiar with, and thank you so much for that. Vinita was recently shortlisted for the Times Group She Unlimited Entrepreneur Award. She has been actively involved in the development of medical and wellness tourism in South India. Wow, wow, Vinita. Thank you for being with us.
It's my pleasure, Sheetal. Thank you so much for that detailed introduction. When I look back,
I skipped a lot in between.
All of that.
I skipped a lot in between. There was so much about you. And you have a huge following on Instagram also, which is amazing. So we're going to get started right away on chakras.
Right.
Tell us, we all know we have 7 chakras in our body, and some of us know where each one is located and their names.
Right.
But let's just do a quick recce of it, and like a quick
like a summary of the entire system.
Yeah.
So to begin with a very simple analogy, let's imagine a house which has these various electrical connections running through it, right? So you have these wires running across all the walls, but the switches are at certain points where you can turn on and off certain electrical outlets. So we could understand the chakra, 7 chakras that we talk of, as these primary on-off buttons in the body. So in order to understand the chakras, you also have to know about prana, which in the Vedic system is known as the vital life force. And this is not unusual only to the Vedas. You also see it in the Chinese systems of medicine as chi or ki. So it's all similar in concept. Now, what are the chakras? The chakras are vortexes where these plexuses or where a group of nerves meet. So I know there will be a lot of skeptics, which is perfectly understandable, and I empathize with them because we are talking about a sukshma sharira, which is a subtle body. So if you ask me, where are the chakras located? Where is the Vishuddha chakra located? I cannot point it out to you on your physical body, but it is on your the subtle body, what is called the sukshma sharira in Sanskrit. So at the base of the spine lies the Mooladhara chakra, which is at the coccyx pretty much. And then you move slightly further up, say 2 inches lower from your belly button, which is where you will find the energy of the Swadhisthana chakra. And then a little above the belly button is the Manipura chakra. And then at the chest, towards the region.
I'm just going to cut you for a minute. These are all different names for the chakras. I'm not familiar with. I'm familiar with Mooladhara.
Right.
All those. Can you just tell us which is what then?
Okay, so the Mooladhara is the root chakra, which is the first primary chakra. And then you move up to the Swadhisthana, which is also called the sacral chakra. And then you move up to the Manipura, which is the solar plexus chakra. But I prefer to call it the navel chakra because solar plexus actually confuses the matter a
Yes,
little,
yes.
right? And then you have the Anahata chakra, which is at the level of the heart in the region of the chest. And then you have the Vishuddha chakra, which is the throat. And then the Agnya chakra, which is the third eye, or the intuition chakra. And then you have the Sahasrara, which is a little above the head actually. So if you observe any religious heads of any religion, they always wear something to cover their heads. So
Right.
this is in order to protect the aura of this very vital chakra, which connects you with the cosmos, with the consciousness which resides outside of you.
Lovely.
This is a quick, reckoner of the chakras.
So each chakra is associated with different emotions, with different colors. And I found out from you just a couple of days ago, also with smells, which I think I have never heard of before.
Not only with smells, each chakra also has a corresponding gland or a range of organs. So, for example, if you look at the Mooladhara, it has everything to do with the lower glandular systems, and then you move further up into the Swadhisthana, which is the sacral chakra, which is the adrenals, and the Manipura, the solar plexus chakra. It has everything to do with the pancreas. And then the heart is with the thymus, and the Vishuddha, which is the throat chakra, it deals with your thyroid and parathyroid. The Agnya chakra has everything to do with the pituitary and the pineal gland.
Okay.
And the Sahasrara is actually like the master controller of the entire uh, metabolic and endocrine system of the body. So yes, the association is with sound, with color, with smell perhaps. See, the thing is, if you go by the Vedic texts, so the most important Vedic text for studying of the chakras is what is called the Shak Chakra Nirupana by Swami Purnananda. Now, he does not mention anything about gemstones or colors. So these are later extrapolations by Western authors.
Okay.
So in the Indian context, we only speak about the energy and the sound associated with it because, in the Indian system, there's a great deal of importance attached to mantras and to chanting. So there is a particular sound attached to a particular vibration, which in turn resonates with that specific chakra.
Wow. Okay. So when we're doing the Om,
Yes.
that would be your throat chakra or your
The Om is actually the Agnya chakra,
ah
because that is when you actually have moved beyond all of the physicality of this universe, of this living.
mm-hmm.
And then you're moving into a realm which is much more subtle. The lower chakras are more of our earthly desires, our longing, our pleasure seeking activities and all of that. And then from the heart upwards, it becomes a little more subtle. And so Om is the sound of the Agnya chakra
Okay.
and beyond. So you could even say it's the sound of the Sahasrara chakra.
Okay. So now tell us the correlation between the Kundalini Shakti and the chakras.
Again,
What is Kundalini Shakti?
right. So in the Indian Vedic system, there is a great deal of importance which is attached to both these words, Kundalini and Shakti. They're two concepts which come together very beautifully when we are talking of chakras. So first, let's look at what Shakti is, because that's the more predominant concept. Shakti is feminine energy, right? So you have Shiva, which is masculine energy. Now, for all of us who are watching, I want you to, for a moment, forget about Shiva as you visualize Lord Shiva. It's not that Shiva that we are talking about, or Shakti as Durga or Kali. It's forget all those aspects which you have in your mind and just look at them as two sources of energy. There is a masculine energy and there's a feminine energy, right? And they say that Shiva is veritably Shava, which means he's a corpse without Shakti. It's only when Shakti comes close to Shiva, that he actually gets activated. So that is Shakti. That is the feminine energy which resides in every sentient being, which resides in every aspect of life, from a rock to a leaf to the most evolved mammals, every aspect of living. And Kundalini. Kundalini is a serpent power, right? So it's like a coiled serpent which exists from the time of our conception. And most spiritual people talk about how it comes into existence possibly around the same time when the pineal gland comes into existence, around the 49th day after conception. And then it remains till the day we die. And where is it residing? This Kundalini Shakti is at the base of our spine. So for spiritual purposes, it's only from the base of the spine to the top of the brain that's important. All our extremities are actually of no importance. They're just here because they serve a purpose of helping us, go about our daily lives. So now the Kundalini is like a coiled serpent. It's coiled 3.5 times. Now, there is a relevance to this 3.5 times because it's, if there's the Sattva Guna, the Rajas Guna, and the Tamas Guna, right? The 3 gunas. Or you could look at it as the past, present, and future. Or you could look at it as the 3 states of consciousness. Either you're awake, you're asleep, or you're dreaming. So, and why the half? The half is to show that it is always ready to move in an upward direction.
Right, okay.
So the Kundalini Shakti, how does it correspond to the chakras? It is said that when this Shakti, which is residing at the base of the spine, is empowered or it is moving upwards towards the Sahasrara chakra, that is when the Kundalini Shakti actually becomes awakened and one gets enlightened or one gets, spiritually evolved. So this is the correlation between Kundalini Shakti and the chakras. So if you have any blockages in any of the chakras, it's impossible for you to have your Kundalini Shakti move straight up. It's like a block, in any pipe, for example, it's an upward journey, first of all, which is gravitationally a difficult one to do. And on top of that, blocks will not help. So that's the reason why it's important, rather it's imperative, to ensure that all the chakras are, open, balanced, so that you could have a spiritual experience.
So is it possible to have all your chakras in balance all the time?
See, I would say it's like a flower. A flower goes through seasons, right? There are times when it's blossoming, times when it's a bud, sometimes when it just wilts and dies. So it's an ongoing battle, like everything else in life. Sometimes the chakras are blossoming, they're doing really well, all the energies are in sync. And at other times, not so. So the effort has to be for us to ensure that all the chakras are at least working optimally, if not, in full bloom. At least we ensure that there are no blockages on the way.
So how does one know there's a blockage in which chakra? Can a layman, without going to a healer, feel the difference, or what should they look out for to know there's a block somewhere in their chakras?
See, first of all, like you rightly said at the beginning of this conversation, each chakra has its own connotations when it comes to your emotions. So even disregarding that for a moment, I think if every individual takes a little time off to do a scan of their system, even if they're disbelievers of the chakra system, it's good to just pay attention to your various important organs, right? So when you focus on your Muladhara chakra, which is the root chakra, you look at the entire gonad system, your entire system of evacuation, of, pretty much reproduction, all of that. So when you start noticing what is happening at each level, so you might feel some kind of frisson, you might feel some kind of heat, you might not feel anything at all, which is also okay. Because I think the important thing in any spiritual practice is to not make judgment on your experience.
Right.
But with time, so every morning when you wake up and you're still lying in bed, you could do a quick scan and see what is it that you're feeling at these particular points, starting from the base of your spine right up to the top of your head. And slowly it will come to you. You know, there will be some message which your body will send, that there's a little tingling here or there's a little heat here. So, and then slowly you build on that. And then it's a process of introspection to see what it is that's causing you. Like, for example, with anger, right? So anger is associated with the Vishuddha chakra. Now that might actually be a very surprising correlation, but if we look at what makes us angry, it's always the fact that there is some miscommunication somewhere. Either that you're not able to communicate adequately, or you're not able to understand what the other person's trying to say. And that's exactly where anger starts. So Vishuddha chakra, if you have issues with anger, observe what is happening at your throat level. And also when you're angry, your voice refuses to come out in its original format. There's almost like this perceptible change in your voice and your tone.
Absolutely. So what is the correlation between chakras and the elements, the 5 elements?
Right. Now, to understand that, let us know that it's the lower 5 chakras which have elements. The higher chakra, which is the Agnya and the Sahasrara, are not considered to be a part of the elements because they're more subtle, whereas the elements are more palpable. So the root chakra, which is the Mooladhara, is obviously the earth energy. And then you move into the Swadhisthana, which is water, which water is absolutely necessary for all of creation. So it's like correlated to the amniotic fluid, if you wish, but it's all to do with water. And then the fire energy, which is where we digest our foods, which is where the food gets assimilated, which in a way is a process of, firing it, literally. That's why food is heated. That is why when we consume it, we burn calories. So that's the correlation. And then you move further up to the heart chakra, which is air. Again, understandable because breathing, the lungs, it's the thoracic cavity and all of that. And then ether, which is the voice, right? The communication aspect of the element of ether or space. So that's the correlation.
So when we spoke about the sounds and the smells associated with each, can you quickly run us through which one is associated with what?
Okay, so in terms
of... same for everybody?
Say that again, Sheetal, sorry.
Is the smell and the sound always the same for all the chakras for everyone?
About the smell, I don't really know because smell is a very, very personal thing.
Yes.
And although the Vedas do outline certain things, I'm also personally not very sure of that aspect of chakras because I haven't tried it out. But the sounds is, yes, it's common for everyone because sound produces a vibration. So if you look at the Mooladhara, the sound is Lam.
Okay.
The vibration of Lam, if you actually focus on it, takes you to the base and it's a very low tone. And then you move to the Swadhisthana and the sound is Vam. If you just close your eyes and take it into the sound, you can feel the reverberation in that part. The Manipura is Ram. See, if you hear, it actually comes from your abdomen.
Right.
And the Anahata is Yam. Now, the sound is also getting a little more subtle, as you can observe. It's not so, literal as you start with Lam, which is a very, almost German sounding sound. And then you move into like a realm of French, like Yam. And Vishuddha is the sound which immediately is taking you to another realm. And as we discussed, the Agnya is Om, and the Sahasrara is Om and also Ah. It's like this like you have this kind of outpouring of the entire universe in one sound. It's Ah. So these are the categorization of sounds. So this is a practice which is very interesting. Also because in a way it works at the level of a vibration. So when you say these particular sounds, those organs, those areas which need attention will derive whatever they want from these vibrations.
And the smells?
The smells, I'm really not very sure. I haven't done much research, but I do know that the Vedas list out the smells. There are some smells like sandalwood and, the smells of various flowers which have to do with chakras. But I just have to be completely forthright here and say I'm not an expert on this subject.
Okay, got it. So, what is the vagus nerve system? I read somewhere that there's a connection or a correlation between the vagus nerve system and the chakras.
Yes, the vagus nerve is the 10th cranial artery, which actually connects the base of your spine with your brain. The 10th cranial artery. So, for people who ask, can you give me a physical correspondence to the chakras? I can only say vagus nerve, which is not just me saying it, but even scientists who are researching it, because the vagus nerve is not one nerve, it's actually two nerves, which goes up like the Ida and Pingala, which again make up, it's kind of intertwined like a helix, and then it goes up. And what the vagus nerve does, it's a very, very important aspect of the human body. It relays messages to the brain from the various organs. So in a sense, even the chakras are doing precisely that. So that is the connection between the vagus nerve and the chakras. So for everyone who's looking for a correlation between what Patanjali said about the chakras to what is being currently observed, in the scientific laboratory, that would perhaps be the answer that one is seeking.
So once we have our, once we are working on aligning our chakras, balancing them, all these will automatically help with your immunity, with your happiness quotient, with your all of that, right? It will have a corresponding effect on everything.
Okay, so let's do this in a systematic way. Let's see what chakra corresponds to what kind of emotions. So to begin with, the Mooladhara chakra, Moola Adhara. Moola means root, Adhara is the basis. So this chakra has everything to do with how we relate to ourselves in this universe. We ask ourselves, what is our place in this planet or in this cosmos? And most of us are lost. We are like, okay, we don't probably belong on this planet, or there's no place for us, and we don't feel a sense of security, we don't feel grounded, we don't have a connection with our physical birth mothers. All these things have their basis in the problem with the root chakra. And then you move up to the Swadhisthana chakra. Swa means self, Adhisthana, that is the place of oneself. So this is all about fears that you have. And I think I'm just going to take a little detour here to say that the chakras, they're repositories of a lot of memories, which are both conscious and unconscious. And the Vedas actually say it's not just memories from this lifetime, not only from the time you were an embryo and you came into this world. Probably it goes back beyond this lifetime into where previous other lifetimes, and those are presented as what are called vasanas. Okay, vasana again is a very interesting term because vasana means smell, so which comes back to what we were talking about earlier. But vasana in that sense is actually a desire because you don't know where it came from. So now, for example, if we just look at our own thought process, we are actually not the thinker. The thought has already come to us. Where is it coming from? So that is either a vasana or a samskara, which is from the past, which is lying somewhere in our cellular memory.
Correct.
Right? So and then we move from the Swadhisthana into the Manipura, which is the stomach, the navel chakra. Here is where all your sense of willpower, your ego, all of that resides. So it's like, what is your position in this world? Where do you want to be? Where does your ambition lie? What is your purpose? And then you move to the heart chakra, which is the chakra of love. And love, not just love towards others or love, towards your children or to your family, but also important thing is to love yourself. That's the biggest message from the heart chakra, because peculiarly the heart is a very unusual organ. So you have, the carotid artery, which gives the heart its blood first. It takes the best of the blood supply, and it's only after that it sends it to the rest of the body, which in a way is very correct from the perspective of nature. Because if the heart doesn't work appropriately, then how will it help the rest of the body work? So that's the message.
If you don't love yourself, how can you love anybody else?
Precisely.
Right?
Exactly. That's the message of the heart chakra. Yeah. And then the Vishuddha chakra. Vishuddha chakra, like we mentioned, is all about our anger issues, our issues with communication, with how we get on with people or how we don't get on with people. And the Agnya chakra is intuition. It's about whether we can foresee what's going to come our way. Are we heading towards problems, or are we heading towards bliss, or somewhere the body has all these answers already. It's just that in today's world, we are so tuned in to data. There's so much information, coming at us all the time. There's a sensory overload. So there's really no time to actually sit back and look at what our intuition is doing or what it's trying to tell you. So then, of course, the Sahasrara chakra is a combination of everything, like I said. It's when you actually let go of all these feelings and feel a sense of bliss, of peace, of being one with the universal consciousness. So these are the various elements of emotions that correlate to the chakras.
So we have questions coming in. Is there any chakra that controls the anxiety levels an individual can feel? This is Anurag asking.
Actually, anxiety is all the three lower chakras. So, like I said, there are some aspects of living. Anxiety, for example, is an overwhelming feeling, right? So, it is something that is controlled by three chakras. So, first, anxiety is the sense of disconnection. Then the sense of, am I good enough? Am I worthy enough? And the third is, will I live up to everyone's expectations? So, there are three chakras involved here. So, if you want to really deal with anxiety, it's the three lowest chakras that one has to work really well with. And actually, even if one is having panic attacks and one works on these three chakras, a lot of it is reduced to a great extent, where one starts living normally, at least.
So when you say work on a chakra, what do you mean?
By working on a chakra, I mean that you take your energy to it and ensure that it remains unblocked, or at least ensure that there is some energy going to that chakra on a daily basis or on a weekly basis. And the easiest way to do this is, there are 7 chakras and there are 7 days of the week. So just pick one chakra each day and focus on that chakra and meditate, reflect on it, and see what it is that your body is trying to tell you. Because this is about looking inward, and it's about listening carefully to what your body is trying to tell you.
So it is possible to work on balancing chakras without having to go to a healer?
Absolutely. In fact, what the healer is doing, he or she is only guiding you. Eventually, you're doing the hard work. The grinding is being done by you. Right. It's guiding you to it. So you could do it on your own. Absolutely. In fact, it works much better, because there's no anxiety of actually having to go and spend time with someone or, be in another environment. This is your body. You take charge of it and you ensure that you do what is required. And in a very simple fashion. It's
what helps and works for me, I'll tell you, is just placing my hand on that chakra which I feel needs work and sending it love and attention and just being in that space with it.
Totally. I agree with you on that.
It takes longer when you're doing it on your own than with the help of a healer. But I think it still works.
I don't really know if it takes longer, Sheetal. For me, I would believe that the turnaround time is faster when you work on it yourself.
Okay.
Because your attention is what your body wants, in that sense,
right,
of the word, right? So whether there is someone else motivating you to give it that attention or you give it yourself, the outcome is going to be the same. So I think the turnaround time would pretty much be equal, if not much better, if you do it on your own.
Okay. We have another question. Does alignment of chakra help in healing of the body which is suffering from corona or different kind of body pains, especially back pain?
Again, it's corona is still a very new kind of pandemic that we are facing. But the chakras actually help in reducing any kind of pain, because pain again is what the nerves are telling the brain. The pain doesn't exist at that spot where you're feeling it. It's actually only in the brain. So to that extent, if you work on past pains, perhaps you will see a lot of benefit with chakras. I don't really know how much it helps with physical pain, because I think there's a little bit of research and study is needed on that. But if you have trauma from the past, which is very firmly embedded, now those pains, yes, we can work on and ensure that you don't feel that again and again and again every time, you know.
And last week we discussed how cell memory and how trauma is saved in our cell memories.
True.
So probably dealing with the past traumas
Yes.
on another level can definitely help with the psychosomatic pains
Yes.
to a large extent, you know.
Yes.
So yes, there is a correlation, and yes, there is a connection to everything. I think everything is interconnected, right? So yeah.
The mind, the body, the spirit,
Yeah.
if all these things come together, that's when we have this, you know, entire sense of creation and the sense of life itself. So to the person who's asking this question, I would only say, well, there's nothing you can lose, so at least you can try
Yeah.
if it helps.
Do physical activities, there's another question. Do physical activities help balancing chakras? Mino is asking this.
Absolutely. There are certain activities which are specifically useful for certain chakras, and yoga. There are various asanas which are specific to the chakras. So, for example, the Mooladhara is all about the feet touching the earth. So, even any asana which involves, you know, sitting down, being close to the earth, all of these help in strengthening the Mooladhara. For the Swadhisthana and the Manipura, it's more of all the bending asanas which we do, and even all, you know, the asanas which put a lot of pressure on the pelvis and the stomach region and tightens the core, as it were, you know, the transverse abdominal muscle, which is a very important muscle which kind of holds your body together, you know,
Right.
back to the front. And then for the upper asanas, of course, that's the reason why we do all the inverted asanas.
To send the blood flow there.
Yeah, for the upper chakras, I mean, yes, it's all the inverted asanas.
Okay, lovely. So let's take them through a detailed account of how to balance the Mooladhara, the Manipura, and the Anahata chakras.
Right. So
Yeah.
I will tell you the reason why I think these three chakras are most important, because especially in today's world, there appears to be a great deal of disconnect from Mother Earth herself. And this sense of disconnection is perhaps aggravated or exacerbated by the corona. And a lot of people are feeling like they are not grounded. So that's the reason why I feel it's important for the Mooladhara to be addressed first. And also because it's the base. So if you get the basis right, if the foundation is correct, then everything kind of builds up on that.
Yes.
So to begin with, let's just close our eyes and focus, take our energy to the base of the spine. Take a moment to just breathe in carefully, but not tamper with your breath in any way. Just leave it natural. Just take your attention to the base. Feel your breath reach the base of your spine. By now, you should have gently closed your eyes as well. Begin to visualize a bright red light at the base of your spine. Think of it as a ruby which is sitting at the base of your spine. And just imagine that this ruby is rotating and revolving. And with each breath, This ruby is getting brighter and brighter. Don't force your attention, just gently your attention. Hold it there. And if you feel that you find any blotches or any dark spots in the ruby, try to erase it and see the ruby as getting brighter and brighter with each breath. When you feel that the ruby is now shining as brightly as it possibly can, chant Lam. You can chant it in your mind or you can chant it loudly, but ensure that you feel the sound reverberating in the base of your spine. Let's do this again. Lam. Now feel your connection with Mother Earth growing stronger and stronger, and feel as if your body is drawing energy from Mother Earth and you feel more connected with everything around you. And for one last time, we will do the chant. Lam. Continue to focus on the ruby red and give yourself permission to let go of anything unwanted that you are holding in this chakra, and ask your body to let go of any blockages, any blotches, any patches that appear in this ruby red light. Keep your attention focused on this chakra. And don't judge the experience, but just see if you feel anything at the base of your spine. Do you feel a little tingling? Do you feel a little heat in the region? Just gently watch for what you might be feeling in this area. Slowly bring your attention back and open your eyes.
I never thought a sound would go right down to my base of my spine. That really, you could really feel it. Really.
It's important to just keep the attention on the color while also making sure the vibration comes through and you take the breath right down to this point. So the next chakra that you wanted to work on was the Swadhisthana, right?
It was the Manipura.
The Manipura. Okay, the reason why the Manipura chakra is important, someone already brought up this aspect of anxiety. And when we feel anxious or tense, we always feel it in our stomach, right? This feeling of like a tightness in the stomach or wanting to run to the bathroom. So this is because the abdomen, the stomach is literally like a second brain. The gut is the second brain because it's got millions of neurons and all of that. So the Manipura chakra also is important because in today's day we eat all kinds of crap. So we have issues with digestion, we have problems with gastric reflux and all of that. So I think it's important to focus on this for these two reasons. One is to get your panic and anxiety under control, and the second is to ensure that your system is working optimally in terms of your digestive system, your assimilative system, and all of that. So let's begin. Close your eyes gently And take your attention slowly from the Mooladhara upwards to about 2 inches above your belly button. Slowly, this is a very gentle movement that you should perceive from the base of your spine upwards, possibly moving 1 centimeter at a time until you reach the point about 2 inches above your belly button. Now here you visualize a bright yellow light. Just imagine that there's a sunflower in the middle of your stomach. And just focus on this sunflower yellow. Take your attention to it and bathe the entire region in this beautiful, brilliant yellow light. Now visualize it and take your breath to this region and give it your entire attention in a gentle manner. With each breath that you take, visualize this yellow light getting brighter and brighter. Focus on your breath. Don't try to control your breath, just let it be. Just focus on it with a gentle attention and visualize this bright yellow light just getting brighter and brighter in the center of your being. When you feel centered 2 inches above your navel, start chanting Ram. Ram. Now feel the intensity of these vibrations and feel the sound as it emanates from your abdominal region. Ram. Just breathe into the peace that you're feeling and allow the entire abdominal region to relax as you give yourself permission to let go of past traumas, past pain, past disappointment, past fears, past anger, and suffuse all of these with a fresh, new, positive energy. And let the yellow light get brighter and brighter. Gently instruct your body that you wish it to work optimally, that you will make an effort to eat better food, to take better care of yourself, and that you cherish and value all that your body does for you every day, every single second of every single day. Keep your attention on the yellow light. And now the sunflower has blossomed and you are surrounded by this bright, beaming yellow light in the center and the core of your being. Just revel and enjoy and cherish this moment of quiet and peace as you feel your entire body gently relax. You feel heavy and light at the same time. And whenever you're ready, Gently open your eyes.
Wow. I could really feel I need to work on this section, this area more.
Yes, Sheetal, I understand that. This is one chakra which I think most women, especially, we've had children, we faced a lot of traumas in this region. So, yes, this needs a lot of work from most women. And it's also true for men because they also have their own set of anxieties and worries which they tend to hold in their stomach, and particularly related to ambition and, you know, this passion, this fire in the belly. So, yes, this is also a very vital chakra to work on.
When I'm anxious, I also feel a tightness at my solar plexus. Is it
Okay.
the same thing?
I think there might be a little, in our understanding of where exactly the chakras are in the body. So for some people, they say they feel it in their back, you know, on the spine. So there's always the possibility that each individual finds it somewhere else. That a certain emotion is associated with a certain place, which is not necessarily what we talk about in the textbook format of the chakras, which is perfectly fine.
Right.
It's whatever works for you. It's just
Okay.
that that particular thing which is coming up needs your attention.
Right.
You need to pay attention to that and work on it.
Got it. And now the Anahata. The last one we are doing today is the Anahata
Yes.
chakra.
So for this chakra, I'm going to take a cue from what you said, and I'm going to ask everyone to put their hand on the heart chakra and gently close your eyes. Even the closing of the eyes has to be a very gentle one. We don't force anything when we are in meditation or when we are doing any kind of spiritual exercise. So, with our hand on our heart, we know that this is the region of love, of affection, of how we connect with other human beings, with other beings on this planet. So, we slowly, gently take our attention to the heart chakra, to the entire thoracic region, and focus on our breath. While not trying to manipulate the breath, just keep an eye on it and pay attention to how you are inhaling and how you are exhaling. And visualize a beautiful emerald green light shining brightly from the center of your chest. Just imagine that there's a large emerald sitting in the center of your thoracic cavity. Pay attention to this light and see it spreading all across your chest to envelop your shoulders and your arms and the area around you. And pay attention to your breath, which is now very gentle and has slowed down considerably. And when you feel that you have connected with this chakra, let us start with the chant. Ya. Focus on the emerald green light, even as you feel the vibration throughout your thoracic region. Ya. Feel this emerald green light getting stronger and stronger with each breath that you take. And one last time, feel the vibration in your heart, in your lungs, in the entire chest region. Ya. Keep your attention on this emerald green light. And if you so desire, you may remove your hand now and keep it in a more comfortable position. And slowly give yourself permission to heal whatever hurts your heart is holding on to, whatever past pain, heartache, disappointments you might have felt, and release all of them as you suffuse it with a fresh, new green energy. Imagine that the entire area is getting a fresh dose of oxygen and positive energy. And see this emerald green light and tell yourself that this chakra is healed now and will forever remain healed, and that you will pay attention to your needs and you will love and cherish yourself and others now and always, while keeping your attention on this emerald green light. Take a few more breaths. Do not force it, just relax into it. Feel your shoulders falling. Feel your entire body getting more and more relaxed. And whenever you feel ready, gently open your eyes.
Lovely.
Thank you, Sheetal.
Thank you, Vinita. Thank you so much. This was such a lovely, lovely experience.
Thank you. So the important thing is that it's not enough if you do this once, but if you could even give every chakra about 2 minutes of attention every day, I think you will find that you have a much more equanimous approach to everything in life. It's, you don't get angry so easily, you don't lose your temper, you don't get disappointed so easily, because you're bringing everything into a sense of balance.
You're not so reactive, basically.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And also what it does is it keeps you in the moment. It's only the here and the now when you're at a particular chakra. It's like the prefrontal cortex for a moment has forgotten that there is a past and there's a future. You're just here.
Yeah.
So I think that's also one of the important aspects of any form of meditation. So if the takeaway from all of this is forget about the chakras, forget about everything, but if you can incorporate some form of mindfulness into your life, then that's the lesson which needs to be learned.
Lovely. If you could share one illustration with me at some point, which tells us the colors and the sounds corresponding, then maybe I can share it with our viewers and we can all work on our different sounds with the colors, coordinating with it.
So should I just say it out to you, or should I send it to you at a later stage?
How do you also now, and you can send it to me at a later point.
So that I can just say it to you right now. So you start with red. So it's the Vibgyor in the reverse fashion, right? So yeah, red, orange, yellow, green. So then the throat chakra is a light blue. The Agnya chakra is a like a dark blue, the indigo, and this is a violet color.
Okay.
So, and the sounds, we'll just go through that again. So you start with Lam, Vam, Ram, Yam, Hum, Om, and either Om or Ah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Lovely.
Right.
Thank you so much, Vinita. That was such a I don't like to just do a talking session. I'd like something to be a take home with you so that you can practice something on your own. And this has been such a wonderful, wonderful experience in that sense.
Thank you, Sheetal. It's been a real pleasure. And if there are any other questions which you want me to address, I'm more than happy to do that.
I will definitely send them across to you if I have any questions coming up later. Right now, we don't.
All right.
All the best for your 4th book.
Thank you so much.
We can meet sometime soon and I can get an autographed copy from you.
Most certainly. I will have it sent across to you. Thank you been such a wonderful and gracious host. And
Thank you.
I wish you all success. And I wish everyone who's listening an abundance of all things enriching in their lives. Thank you so much for having tuned in.
Just bring Nandita in, who introduced me to you, and whose forum Zyvik is, on which we are doing this whole talk series.
Right.
So Nandita is here. Can we have Nandita, please? She's traveling, I know, but if it's possible for Nandita.
Hi, girls. I think I'll be. Thank you so much. Thanks. It was a wonderful session to listen, and I'm still in that zone of balance despite having a very hectic last 2-3 days. Thank you so much, Vinita. Really, really, I have always been a big fan of you and your wisdom and the way you explain everything. And the best part is the way you conduct your life in complete synchronicities with what you say. And thank you so much, Sheetal. You always know how to bring out the best for all of us.
Thank you, Nandita. Thank you for introducing me to Vinita. Such an enriching experience. And I'm going to stay in touch, Vinita.
Surely. One word for Nandita. Nandita, we go back 20 years. So thank you for this opportunity, Nandita. It's always wonderful to do anything with you, to be associated with you in any fashion. Again, wishing you great success and wishing that you can make a difference to this world. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Delighted to have you girls. Thanks a lot for gracing my life and even this platform. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Nandita. Thank you, Deepika and Suprita, for the tech support today. Thank you, Vinita.
Thank you, Sheetal. Thank you so much. Namaste.
Thank you so much.